What is up, guys? Today I have a first place Centurion deck profile for you. Also, some test hands and combos and whatnot, just so you guys get a feel for how to play. But let's get straight into it. Before we get into the video, be sure to like, comment, and be a subscriber. And for future videos, whenever we do open the deck profile. First of all, we have 3 Primera, of course. Primera is the main 1-card starter in the deck. I mean, you have 3 1-card full combos in the deck, but she facilitates everything because she can grab you the field spell. Then we have 3 Trudea. This is another one of the 1-card full combos because you'll normal summon her and bring her back down to get Primera out, and then Primera comes up. And as I'm sure you could have guessed, will search the field spell. Then we have 2 Emmett 6. Emmett 6 is mostly just you do have a discard. He's also a little bit of protection because he does have 3,000 defense, and when he's in your hand or in the grave, during your opponent's main phase, you can actually send one of your smaller Centurion monsters back down and then special summon him, which also sets you up for the next play because if they can't get over the 3,000, then on your next turn you'll bring up whoever you sent down and go into a rank 8, or if it was Primera, since she's a tuner, you can go into another Yugioh or something like that. After that, we have 3 stand-up Centurion. That's just the field spell, just running 3 of that. And then lastly, our other 1-card full combo, which is 3 Emblema Oath. And then I do play 1 Phalanx. You don't have to play this, and you could cut it, but, you know, sometimes it comes in handy, I guess, if you draw it or whatever. A lot of times I end up having to discard it. You can get to Primera or Trudea, so all 3 of those are 1-card full combos. But that is actually it for the Centurion stuff. The rest of it is just tech options that I chose and work out really well for me. Up first, we have the Horus package, 3 Mseti, 1 Happy, and then 2 King Sarks. It's just a great package. With this and the next package, which is actually Bestials, I do 1 Magnamut and 2 Druisworm. You can actually, if you see both these packages and not a single Centurion card, you can still OTK. With decks like Voiceless running around, you Magnamut, and then during the end phase you get to search, so you'll search Druisworm something, and then if you have your Horus package, you have Mseti and Happy on the field as well, which is lethal. This is 5,000 plus Mseti, which is 8,000, and then Happy if they have a small monster that you need to get over, well, a medium-sized monster because he has 2,400 attack. You can do that as well. Then the last little package that I'm playing is 3 Super Polys. Super Poly is the absolute MVP and just decimates pretty much everything right now. It's like fire decks and Voiceless Voice and just things like that. And if you think your deck doesn't lose a Super Poly, like for example this deck, everything's a different attribute, but once you have Yugioh on the field, Crimson Dragon's actually a light as well. Format is the absolute MVP. Moving on to hand traps, we do play 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 Imperm, 3 Talents, which I'm thinking about making this DD Crow or something like that, but it can come in handy, especially the draw too, because we do discard a whole bunch. And then 1 Terraforming, which I've never absolutely needed, so I think I'm going to switch that out for a called by. But that's the entire deck. It's 40 cards. Yugioh is really good. 3,500 attack monster. You can, you know, draw a card and pop a monster. Non-targeting removal. It's really good. 1 Crimson Dragon. Crimson Dragon's how you get into Calamity, and then after that we do have 1 Cosmic Blazer Dragon. Every now and then it comes up, so I do run 1 Baron instead of another level 12. I don't know what other level 12 I would do. Probably the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend or whatever that card's called. It's probably the other level 12 I would do, but I don't know. Baron is situational and it can come up. So that is it for the synchros. For the links, we'd have 1 Dark Charmer. Dark Charmer helps us go into Selene, which gets us... So Primera is actually a spellcaster, so Selene will bring Primera back, and then those go into Access Code Talker. And then for situational things, we have 1 Little Knight. That is it for the link package that we run. For the Ixie stuff, we have 1 Zombie Vampire. Zombie Vampire, sometimes I'll go into him with my 2 Horus monsters, or you could even do like Emmett 6 and Trudea or something like that. If I'm missing something, so like if I'm missing Primera, for example, a lot of times I'll go into Zombie Vampire with the Horus stuff and then try and get a Primera that way. And if that doesn't work, then, you know, at least you have your Horus stuff up and running. Well, it's not up and running because you used them, but next turn, if they don't pop King Sark, your Horus stuff is up and running. You have Bestials, you have other things in your hand, you have hand traps. If you don't start with Primera, you're going to start with something. Then we have 1 Sky Crisis, it never comes up, and then 1 Zeus, it also never comes up, but it could. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually thinking about bumping Garura up to 2, and the reason why is because Voiceless is running rampant right now. Literally everybody's playing Voiceless, and they're all fairies. They're all fairy light monsters, so I can't use Mudragon for those. It did come up where I needed a second Garura to super poly them away again. They're a ritual monster and then the low. But for now, it is what it is. We'll see how I end up changing that, or if I change it at all. And then last but not least, we have the side deck, which the side deck is completely, almost entirely irrelevant because I don't use almost any of these cards. I do run Solemn Strikes. Solemn Strike is an insane card that nobody sees coming. So if I'm going first, I always side in Solemn Strikes, and it has won me countless games. And then the other one is 3 Nibs. Nibs I side in a lot depending on what I'm facing. Which, I mean, you guys know, Nib is a situational card. It is what it is. And just to show you what the rest is, I need some DD Crows and some like Ghost Bells. But 3 Cosmic Cyclone, 2 Lightning Storm, 1 Feather Duster. There was a long time where, not a long time, but it was a couple weeks where everybody was playing Labyrinth when Transaction Rollback came out. And then after that, we just have 3 evenly matched. So basically just back row removal, and then Solemn Strike, and then Nib. That is it for the deck. Let's get into some combos that I can show you guys. First combo is going to be Primera, and then any card to discard. So you'll normal summon Primera, activate her effect, search out the field spell. Then you'll activate the field spell, discard 1 card to place 1 down in the spell and trap card zone as a continuous trap, which is going to be Trudea. Then you'll activate Trudea to bring her up, and then activate her again to bring her down and place another one, which is where Emmet 6 comes in. Then you'll activate Emmet 6 effect, bring him up, Synchro 12 into Legacia. Activate Legacia's effect to draw a card and pop 1 if you can pop 1. And then during the end phase, activate Legacia, bring Primera back. Then on your opponent's turn, as soon as they do anything, you can chain both of these to their first action, and then you have a trigger effect. So Stand Up Centurion trigger effect will bring out Crimson Dragon, and if they don't have a fast effect, you can go ahead and activate Crimson Dragon to Calamity Lock them. Keep in mind, Crimson Dragon needs to be Chain Link 1 for Calamity to go off, because it says when this card is synchro summoned, not if. So if Crimson's Chain Link 2 and Calamity hits, you're actually going to miss timing on that, because the last action that took place wasn't this card's synchro summon. So if they try to do something to Crimson Dragon, and you need to go Crimson Chain Link 2, which does come up quite a bit, then you can go Cosmic Blazer. And that's the way I play it. And then end phase, or if you had an Oblima Oath or something, bring Primera down here to the spell and trap card zone, because it'll actually protect your Legacia. While it's a continuous trap, level 5 or higher Centurion monsters actually can't be destroyed by card effects. So if it can't be destroyed by card effects, they're going to need some like non-destruction removal or something with more than 3,500 attack. So having her in the spell and trap card zone actually messes up your opponent quite a bit. So that is combo number 1. Combo number 2 is Emblema Oath, and I'm not going to do the whole thing because you play Emblema Oath and you place Primera, and then you activate a card to place Trudea, and now we're doing just the exact same combo. Trudea comes up, Trudea comes down, place Emmet 6 comes up, then you synchro into Legacia. It's the exact same thing. Then the third combo is just Trudea 6, you grab Primera. Then you'll activate Primera's effect, bring Primera up, and then her on summon effect will grab Stand Up Centurion. Activate Stand Up Centurion, discard a card to place your Emmet 6, and now it was a little different way to get there, but now we're in the same spot where now we go into Legacia and draw a card, and then end phase Primera comes back down. So let's go ahead and do a test hand. I'm going to power shuffle real quick, and then we will run a test hand. Alright, now that we have this shuffled up, let's see what we get. Alright, 5 cards. Started off with the Oblima Oath, Stand Up Centurion, and Ash Imperm. Starting Ash Imperm is really good against almost any deck. And then the Druid's Worm, that means we basically win against Voiceless because we just hit the low with that. And then we have full combo because we have Oblima Oath. So we will move the deck out of the way. Activate Oblima Oath to place, and we're going to place a Primera. This goes to the grave. Activate Primera's effect, grab us a field spell just because we can. If they ashed us here, then we just got rid of an ash. So, but we also do need discards, so you could use your second field spell as the discard, which I think in this case I actually am. To place Trudea's effect bring up, Trudea's effect bring back down. And place, so let's go ahead and grab an Emmet 6. Emmet 6 goes right here. Bring Emmet 6 back up. Go for Legation, that is the discard. And then in phase, we're gonna move Primera down. Well, I guess we would set Imperm and then move Primera down from the graveyard and pass there. Now if they normal summon like Stratos or something, you just Chainlink 2 Ash, Chainlink 3 Primera, Chainlink 4 Trudea, and then you have a trigger effect, so they can't really do anything about that. Well, they could, but trigger effects come first. So trigger effect right there. Bring Primera and Trudea up. I always do it in defense just in case something happens. And then once those guys are up, that's where your trigger effect is. Synchro those guys away. Ask if he has a fast effect. If he does not have a fast effect, you can Crimson, target Legacia, bring back Calamity Lock. And that's pretty much game, especially if they... Because Calamity is only cards that are activated on the field, so they can still do hand activation, graveyard activation. But if they get a light or dark in the grave, you have game with Druid Worm. Or you could do your own Primera if you wanted, because Primera is in the grave. So let's say Calamity Lock in. Let's say we have to use our own Primera. We'll banish her. During the end phase, we can activate Legacia. We'll bring back Trudea. Or Emmet 6. It doesn't really matter right here. So if they summon a monster in attack position, Calamity's effect is when it destroys a monster by battle, you'll inflict that monster's original attack as damage to their life point. So it's always going to be 4,000, 3,500, and then game with Druid Swarm. And if you needed a little extra more, you could do her. Or, I don't know, let's see what we draw. So we drew a Droll. So, tons of hand traps and still, like, lethal combos. But as I said, you could do Emmet 6 during the end phase if you really, like, wanted to get ballsy with it. But that's it for test hand 1. We'll do one more test hand because this video hasn't taken very long at all. Alright, get this nice and shuffled. Let's see what our hand is. Trudea, Magnemite, we have a Happy and a Talent. So this is still full combo. And it's very similar to our last hand, only this time we have a discard. A card that we definitely don't need in our hand. We can just 100% discard. And if they do anything, like if they Ash us or Effect Veiler us, we do have a Triple Tactics Talent. So let's just pretend that they Effect Veiler us. Normal Trudea. Activate Trudea's effect, they Effect Veiler us. So now we'll Talent to draw 2. And we drew Imseti. So now we can use Imseti's effect, discard the Happy, since that's just discard fodder anyway, and grab us a King Sarcophagus. We'll give it one shuffle because we get to draw 1 as well. Grab King Sark, draw 1. It's a Phalanx, so that helps us a lot. So we have Phalanx, we have Imperm, and we have a second Imperm, and we still have a Bestial in hand. Activate this, bring out these two guys, and that's nothing to like laugh at because their effects are really good. But if you wanted, you could just test your luck and go into a Zombie Vampire and just see what we get. We'll detach Happy, mill the top 4. Not add, but special summon off of Zombie Vampire's effect. Activate Primera. Primera's going to grab the field spell. And see, we wouldn't have set these yet. You set these before you end your turn. So one of the Imperms you can discard. But I set it anyway. So stand up Centurion. And then we will discard the Bestial, which feels super bad. But it is what it is. Add the Emmet 6 down here. Activate his effect to bring up. And then we will Synchro 12 there for Legacia. Draw a card. It's another stand up Centurion. And pop, and then in phase we will place Primera down here. And that's still a really good board for what we had, like especially because we got Effect Veilered right here. And we still haven't been able to do much. All I can really hope to do is stop the Calamity Lock. But then again, we used all of our resources. We only have a stand up Centurion in hand. So, and our next draw is an Imseti, so there's no reason why we would need... Well, I guess if you wanted to have a card other than Stand Up Centurion, you can activate Imseti again. Because we do run 2 King Sarcophagus. But, so that is it for the second test hand and for the video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to see a voiceless voice deck profile, let me know, because we do have it fully built. I just haven't mastered it yet, so that's the reason why I haven't made a video about it yet. But if you want to see it, let me know down below. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.